BloombergQuint. Hi, this is Nikki. Tata Power has reported a 20% decline, in fact, more than 20% decline in its operational performance, both sequentially and year-on-year basis. Slow execution of solar EPC, MUNDRA losses probably seem to be weighing on the profitability of the company. But how does the outlook stack up? Let's understand from Dr. Praveer Sinha, who is the CEO of the company. Happy Diwali in advance, sir, and seasonal greetings to all our viewers out there. I'm going to start off by asking you about, minus the coal sub profit, you think can Tata Power, pull up the heavy earnings lift, and how sustainable is this number right now?
Good morning, Nikki, and happy Diwali to you and to all your viewers. First of all, this is the 8th consecutive quarter in which Tata Power has made profit. And I think the trend is that every quarter we improve our performance, and that's what has happened continuously. You mentioned about the operating profit, and I should mention to you that the operating profit actually has not gone down. If you look at the profit that we make in the coal company, unfortunately, the coal company profit does not come in the operating profit or in the EBITDA, but comes in the PAT, and that is why you are seeing a bump up. So if you see both my coal and CGPL as a cluster, then it's on the positive side that we are there. And last quarter, we did not run our MUNDRA plant because of very high international prices of coal, which of course, once the procurers agreed to pay the cost reflective tariff, which has happened from 13th of October, we are now operating the plant, and this trend will get reversed. But we have made very good profit in our coal companies, and that's why on an overall basis, you see that our profit is 36% higher than last year. And in all our other businesses also, we've done very well, whether it is distribution, renewable. There has been a little bit of a squeeze as far as the profit margin in renewable is concerned, but that's one-off because of very high prices of solar panels for one quarter. And then we also had a scenario wherein the shipping took a lot of time, and also the cost increase took place. So other than that, I think all our other businesses have been very steady. And the type of growth that we are showing in fact is also, if we look at the underlying EBITDA, is the same.
Okay, I understand that profitability on the bottom line seems to be a growth figure, but I'm talking about the operational performance decline, like you rightly pointed out. So going forward, just in terms of outlook, can we expect a growth coming in on your operational performance sequentially for the next quarter, if that's the correct assessment of looking at things?
Absolutely, because now that and I mentioned to you that we need to see the underlying operating profit considering the profit of the coal company, because ultimately it comes and sits in the PAT. So if we see that, that will definitely improve in the coming quarters, more because the coal profit will be there. Along with that, the losses that we were incurring in MUNDRA will not happen, because in this quarter we are operating the plants, and we expect that this cost reflective tariff will continue till the end of December.
Dr. Sinha, that's exactly my next question. I was going to ask you about the total investment you think that will be made to MUNDRA, loss funding plus equity. Now that you suggested that there's not going to be any losses coming in on those fronts when it comes to MUNDRA, but still overall, how much your total investment is going to be like, given the kind of coal crisis? Is this recoverable figure?
So as far as the funding of the coal of MUNDRA is concerned, that has already been done, and we have already accounted for. The only challenge is that in operating of the plant, do we make losses because of the under recovery? And because of that reason, we had stopped the plant in the month of September. Now that the procurers have agreed to buy power at whatever is the present cost of coal, we expect that in this quarter it will be quits, and we will not have any under recovery as far as the coal prices are concerned.
Mr. Sinha, there is, the sharp increase that we all know in terms of the global coal prices that has boosted the associated income when it comes to the mining JV. But wanted to understand what is the coal profit from Indonesia going to be on a recurring basis, and would you be keen to monetize these assets?
So this is a function of what is the coal price. And as you know that last year the coal prices, HBA was something like $50 in last August, September. This year it is once in October, it is $161. And going forward, it's very difficult to speculate what sort of coal prices will be there. Like no one can speculate the oil prices. So these are all energy prices are all interlinked to each other, whether it is RLNG or it is coal or it is oil. So this is something which global changes needs to happen. It also depends largely on what sort of import takes place in China. We are seeing that in last few weeks, the import in China has been restricted, and also they have restricted the price at which they will sell. So I think going forward, the coal prices will soften. The type of increase that we have taken will not happen. Possibly it will moderate to about $100 in near future, and maybe in the long term it will be sub 100. So that's what we feel. That also gives us a very good profit in coal. But also makes our generation from CGPL more affordable to generate.
Mrs. Sinha, I also wanted to understand from you one thing, I mean, given the coal and the power shortages that we've seen in India in the last few weeks, Punjab, Gujarat, and I guess even Rajasthan, they've agreed to buy power from Mundra at tariffs, which reflect the actual cost. So, wanted to understand from you if these states have agreed to sign a medium-term PPAs with the company, and if yes, what rate and what will be the recurring profit from that?
So there is no medium term, but what has been agreed is a temporary arrangement which has been agreed up to end of November, which we are proposing to extend up to end December. The rate in this is 4 rupee 50 paisa for the energy charges, and 90 paisa, of course, is the fixed charge which is there as per the PPA. So it's a 5 rupees 40 paisa at which they are taking power.
Sure. While your solar EPC order book, that's pretty much stable, and in fact, I'd go on to say it's fairly strong. Why is the margin of solar EPC, at kind of weak at the 5%? Do you think that's the kind of steady rate that you're looking at? And also, what is the working capital loan on the increasing trend that we've been witnessing, which is eating into profits? So a word on that.
So on solar, the prices of imported modules went up in last 6 months, primarily because there were some fire in the glass factories which supplied to the solar plants, to the module plants. And also there were some restrictions in terms of the production from these plants. However, in the last quarter, China has added 27 gigawatt of manufacturing capacity to their already existing more than 100 gigawatt of manufacturing. And all these plants have come on stream, and the impact of the price reduction because of this, we will start seeing in this quarter and definitely in the first quarter of FY21. Secondly, what we are also seeing is that in between there was huge challenge in getting ships from China. There were no containers which were there, and the prices, which used to be something like $5,000, had gone up to $25,000-$30,000. Last month, the prices have again come back to the same level as before, and the impact that was there because of temporary increase will not be there in the subsequent quarters. So I think we are seeing a softening of prices, which we had seen much larger increase, and hopefully going forward from Q1 of next year, we will expect that our profit margins will improve in our business.
Okay, I'm going to be coming back to the question which I keep asking you, I think, quarter on quarter now. That is the progress on the monetization of renewables. When do you see the deal getting concluded? Will it be an InvIT? Will it be a stake sale? Finally, what is the final print looking like? If you could, give me some understanding on that.
So there is a lot of discussion that has gone, and that this sort of a decision is a strategic decision which has a long-term impact. So whatever decision we need to take that it is good for our stakeholders and good for our business going forward. So that's why this has taken a lot of time, and there has been a lot of market changes that have happened. We have examined all of them. We are now in the final stages of taking a call, and hopefully next 2-3 months we should be in a position to come and finally inform what decision we have to.
Okay, I would also want to understand about WREL. It's showing strong signs of strong profit. Should one look at these RE portfolio now more from an EV to EBITDA multiple as against the DCF method that we've been following? What's your assessment?
Well, so all our operations, whether it is WREL or TPREL, have now stabilized. So we used to have a lot of challenges in terms of their operation, primarily because the people who were the O&M that was being carried out by outsource agencies were not able to meet the requirement. Now most of the work of the O&M is being carried out in-house. A lot of technology interventions have been done in that, and the availability of the plants have improved drastically. So our solar plants, out of the 17 locations, 13 are at 100%, and the balance 4 are at 99.95% and above. Similarly, our wind plants have done very well, and we are consistently showing availability. Also, there used to be a challenge sometimes on evacuation. We've addressed many of those with the stakeholders, and our evacuation also takes place, and there is no curtailment that happens. So I think a huge amount of improvements have happened in the operation and evacuation of this power, and the curtailment has come down because of the government regulations, as well as there have been some judgments from APTEL. So I think what robustness you are seeing in this quarter, it will continue. Of course, the changes takes place based on the weather patterns. There are certain quarters in which the wind speeds are very high or the solar levels are very high. That trend change will continue. But other than that, I think operationally the plants are in very good shape.
Sure. And, a word on, MUNDRA's merger with parent entity. I think it's already received an NCLT approval. And by which quarter can we see finally the deal closing by?
So we got the order yesterday only from NCLT. And as you know that earlier we had thought of both MUNDRA as well as Tata Power Solar to be merged. Subsequently, we decided that we will not merge Tata Power Solar and do that as a separate renewable entity. So now that we have got the approval, we will complete all the other documentation and approvals that are required. There are a lot of statutory approvals, and hopefully in Q4 we should be able to complete.
What is the impact of embed? And embed is applicable to all the interstate generation companies, I believe. So do you think that will impact MUNDRA as well?
No, MUNDRA is already one of the lowest cost. So we actually benefit with embed because all our generating plants, whether it is Maithan, Prayagraj, or MUNDRA, they actually benefit from the embed that comes in. So to that extent, we will actually benefit when it gets implemented.
All right, Mr. Sinha, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to BloombergQuint.
Thank you very much.